Hey guys, Harket here from Car India magazine, and I'm currently at Devanhalli Fort, just outside of Bangalore. And I'm not just chilling here, I'm here for a reason, a mission in fact, to prove to you guys that this car, the Toyota Yaris, is perfect for those 20-somethings young folk out there. And the best way to do this is of course to take a road trip. So we're going to drive from here to Amravati, which incidentally is the youngest capital in India. So let's get cracking then. By the time we were done here, it was almost lunchtime. So we headed out to find some grub. Hangout in Nandi is one of the most famous spots for youngsters residing in Bengaluru. It attracts quite the crowd on the weekends. Crowds that typically stay on late into the night. It was quite peaceful during lunchtime on a weekday though. After a satisfying meal, we were off again. This time out on the highway and headed towards Amravati. The Yaris' potent 1.5-litre petrol engine and smooth automatic CVT made it so easy to put the power down and munch those miles. After a while, we got off the national highway and onto a single-lane state highway instead. What these new roads lacked in width, they made up for in beautiful spots. But by the time we were done completing the 600-kilometer journey to Amravati, night had fallen. Our first stop the following day was at Amravati's biggest attraction, quite literally, the Dhyan Buddha statue. This 125-foot tall sculpture sits on the banks of the Krishna River and plays host to a museum on Buddhism in its base. Now the Yaris is a good-looking car, there's no doubt about that. And when parked in front of a statue as magnificent as this, you could really see how its exquisite styling matched up to the monument. The sharp headlamps with the LED daytime running lights, striking lines and contemporary features all combine to create a sedan that's so pleasing to look at. From here, we headed to Vijayawada, also part of the new Andhra Pradesh capital region. Vijayawada is only about 40 kilometers away from Amravati, so when we arrived there was enough time to check some stuff out. We did just that of course, heading straight to the Bhavani Island. This 130 plus acre island is one of the biggest river islands in India, and going there meant taking a ferry across a section of the Krishna River. Unfortunately, the ferry was for humans only, so we had to leave the Yaris behind. The island is another big draw for young folk and a haven for water sport enthusiasts. After a quick walk around to see what the island had to offer, I made a beeline straight for the water sports and hopped into a speedboat for a bit of a joyride. As a speed fiend and an adventure junkie, this ride was an absolute blast. And watching the sunset over the pristine river was just breathtaking. Time flies by quickly when you're having fun, and I didn't even register that the skies had darkened by the time we got back to the mainland. Time to find a hotel and rest up for the night. We had to leave early and head back to Bengaluru the following morning. On the way out of Vijayawada, a big blue statue caught the eye and compelled me to pull over. At first sight, I thought it was a statue of the Lord Shiva. But on closer inspection, I realized instead that it was the lead character from James Cameron's hit sci-fi flick Avatar. It was a good likeness too, and keeping it company was the statue of female lead Neythiri, astride a flying banshee. For a sci-fi nut like me, this was the coolest thing ever. I couldn't hang around for too long though. We had another 600 plus kilometer journey to cover. So we headed off again. The drive was a long but comfortable one in the Yaris, and again, it had gotten dark by the time we arrived at our destination. We were up bright and early the next day, which was to be our last day of the drive. The Yaris would be picked up later today, and we would be boarding a flight back home. Our first stop in Bengaluru was at one of my favorite spots in town, Cubbon Park. An oasis of greenery and calm in this bustling town, the park offered a great place to take a breather and a closer look at the Yaris' cabin. The two-tone interior with the black piano finish dash, the clever touchscreen infotainment system, and comfortable seats with electronic adjust for the driver's side are just few of the interior's many highlights. After that little bit of R&R, we still had a bit of time on hand. Our last stop on the drive was the famous Toit in Bengaluru. I absolutely love the wood fire and pizza here, and as a well-known landmark of the city, it was also the perfect place to end our drive and hand the car back over. So here we are then in Bengaluru at Toit for the end of our drive. I'm going to grab a bite now. And this marks the end of our journey, and it's been quite a pleasant one. The Yaris' 1.5 litre engine and automatic transmission made life so much easier for me. And yeah, the quality of the interior, how beautiful the car looks, all plus points. It's been an amazing drive, so cheers to that, and here's to many more.